The Chicago Sky are now on a 2-game winning streak after winning 2 games in a row against the Dallas Wings. They now have a week off from that last game until their next game against the Indiana Fever. What has gone to the Chicago Sky's 2 last wins? We're going to talk a little bit about that and what they can do over the break to prepare for a long WNBA season. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Hayes.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chicago Sky Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And the Chicago Sky have won 2 games in a row. They won their first game against the Dallas Wings, 97-92. We talked a little bit about that. But then they won a couple of days after that, 94-83 against the Dallas Wings as well. This was a much more dominating game in which the Sky just played with a much more aggressive edge in that second game against the Dallas Wings. And this is what you want to start doing when you're riding some confidence. Now, we want to put that in perspective. The Dallas Wings are 1-6 on the season, with 2 of those losses coming against the Chicago Sky, of course. And the Sky still have a lot of things that they need to tighten up and work on. Angel Reese still not shooting the ball overly effective, even though in that last game, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. She's affecting the game of basketball even without her scoring being, the best or anything like that. And that's really good to see. You need Angel Reese to play that way and to lock in defensively. She's made some really good defensive plays, head-up plays in these last 2 games, and it seems like maybe her confidence is starting to come back. Camila Cardoso, after having a big game in that first win against the Dallas Wings with 23 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. She didn't follow it up with the second game with a follow-up performance. Only 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist in 15 minutes played in that game. Elizabeth Williams had a really good game, especially defensively. She went 4 or 5 from the free throw line in that game with 3 rebounds as well. Haley Van Lith played 10 minutes, didn't score any, but she was plus 8 when she was on the court with 4 rebounds and an assist. But Ariel Atkins in that last game, playing like the Ariel Atkins that we needed her to play, scoring 26 points, 8 of 14. She was extremely aggressive in that. Courtney Vandersloot with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. She follows up her first game against the Dallas Wings. She had 13, 9, and 5. So she repeats her performance, maybe starting to get her legs under her this season as well. And Kia Nurse, big shot nurse. That's what we need to call her. 11 points in this game. And the Chicago Sky, listen, I'm not ready to call it a streak quite yet, right? I want to be clear there. But I am seeing that, especially with Ariel Atkins and Courtney Vandersloot over the last 2 games, really standing out in a lot of ways. You're going to need these 2 veterans to score, to shoot well, to help space that floor out a little bit. You're going to need that to happen, right? And so when you have Courtney Vandersloot with 15 points, Angel Reese with 14 as well, with Ariel Atkins scoring that way, and the defense that we've seen to kind of find and invigorate with this team, Sky are going to win some basketball games if they can do that. But they have to find a way to do it consistently, right? Now, the Sky just got the first 2 wins on the season, and it's against another team that's struggling. So I'm not going to act like the Sky have all of a sudden figured something out or anything like that, but it is something that you want to start building off of this, right? And Tyler Marsh, after the first win, said this: we're only 5 games into the season, but everything you bring to this team, everything you've brought to the organization, we feel that you are Chicago, you are the Sky, we're rocking with you forever. That's what Tyler Marsh said to Courtney Vandersloot, which put her into tears, right? And Vandersloot is the Chicago Sky. I've said it many times before. To me, she's a Chicago Sky legend, and I mean a Chicago sports legend, and you can't take that away from me or anybody else that's watched this woman and how she's played the game of basketball, wearing a Chicago Sky uniform through so many different versions of the team. But now for this new version, we need her to play a little bit different of a role than she's ever played before, with needing to be not only that leader, which she has been before, but she's going to have to orchestrate that offense, because really, we don't have a lot of pure scorers on this team. Like, we have players that can score. Angel can score. Camila can score, especially when she's aggressive. But it's really Ariel Atkins. It's going to be Courtney Vandersloot. It's going to be Haley Van Lith whenever she gets her footing under her in the WNBA as well. And overall, like, this Sky team, like, they're at the bottom of the power rankings, and that's for a reason. It's earned, right? Because we haven't been playing the best. Our statistics on the season are still some of the worst in the NBA or in the WNBA, but we're starting to get into the right areas, and that's the important part, right? Got to get a win somewhere. You always got to find a win somewhere and let that be your first win. Angel Reese is leading the league in rebounding, but again, towards the bottom of the league in field goal shooting percentage. Hope that's going to come around for her as well. The Sky as a whole are the second best rebounding team in the league. We're going to have to keep using that as well as our defense that we can play. We haven't played a lot consistently over this season yet so far, but they're going to have to double down on that. And so this is a Sky team that's still trying to find their way in their rhythm, and we haven't found that all the way yet. More aggressiveness in the last couple of games is really good. Make no mistake about it. It's really good to see that. But it's not enough yet for us to even feel too confident about where this team is going to go. And that's what it all comes down to with the Sky team. They have a lot that they still need to work on. And while the fandom was ready to write it all off, and I understand that, make no mistake about it, like, I'm frustrated with this team too. I'm frustrated with with this team and the lack of effort, even with head coach Tyler Marsh being the first-time head coach, some of his coaching decisions. But the last two games have left, a better feeling around this team. Now, they just got to go out and figure out who and what they need to be, how they need to get there. And I think using this week off for this Sky team is going to be really important, right? They have a unique thing, right? You don't get bye weeks in basketball, right? Unless it's over an Olympic season, right, where the Olympics are going on, so you get that longer All-Star break. But now the Sky basically have a bye week, and they can use the first 6 games of this season. They faced some of the best teams in the WNBA. They faced off against one of the worst teams in the WNBA. Hell, we're trying to figure out where we are in that spectrum, right? But this is the opportunity to try to find some time, some extra practices, whatever it is, and course correct some things before it gets too far gone. And it seems like they've already tried to do that. Especially, like I said, the aggression that they played with in the last game is really important for the Sky to find that and keep uncovering that. And that's good to see. Not going to take away from that at all. I love seeing that from my team. But the half-court offense, moving as a team, moving off ball consistently. We need to work in more screens there to help our shooters get open. If that's how we're going to run an offense, Rachel Banham got to learn to stop dribbling and just shoot and come off screens and do that. And so this is an opportunity to start figuring that out. And your rotations. The Chicago Sky's rotations haven't been the best, but we're still trying to figure out that, right? I think Rebecca Allen, her leading the minutes off the bench, that's going to continue unless she gets in the starting lineup. And while I would love to see Rebecca Allen start, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult because, Kia Nurse is inconsistent. You're going to need some type of scoring coming off the bench. So I think you have that part. But as Haley, Elizabeth Williams, even Michaela Oniwerde, who hasn't necessarily played her best either up until this point, as they keep trying to find their rhythm, that's going to be a thing. And also, listen, Maddie West, I'm not mad that Mariah Jefferson is out of the rotation. I'm not mad at that. But Maddie Westbeld, I do think at times, especially with Michaela not necessarily playing the best, that bringing in Maddie Westbeld as more of a shooter and a threat there to kind of stretch that floor out a little bit more to give Ariel Atkins some room to breathe and stuff like that could help this Sky team. Now, I understand the reluctance to play on rookies. You don't really want rookies to come in and be what has to make your offense, but I think at this point, you're looking for some type of spark plug. And, it's very early in the season. And I want to be clear there. And it is a little bit of an overreaction to the struggles that we face so far. But I think the Sky got to find that out. And they have to find their way. Because right now, despite these 2 wins, the Sky are still a team that doesn't quite feel like they have it yet. They don't feel like that. And they're not going to get there by just keep looking at the same thing. You look at how many of these players are shooting the ball terribly right now. Like, the only player shooting over 50% is Camila Cardoso. Ariel Atkins is right behind her at 47%. But we have a lot of players shooting sub 30% from the field. We're not even talking about from 3. If those numbers were from 3, that'd be different. We're talking about from the field. And that to me points to a team that is either not in rhythm, they're not getting their shots where they need or want to get their shots, and therefore you have to kind of reconfigure and rejig this offense to make a little bit more sense. And that's what the Sky are going to have to find out and what they're going to have to figure out as this thing keeps going on, because it's been a struggle. It's been ugly. It's been very ugly basketball from the Chicago Sky. The more aggression in the last couple games is good, but just in the X's and O's standpoint as well. And with Tyler Marsh being a first-time head coach, I do hope that he uses this time to kind of look and say and evaluate himself, not just the players, right? Because good coaches hold themselves accountable as well. And it's been a rough start for Tyler Marsh. And I know, he's already come into a situation where so many Sky fans love Teresa Weatherspoon, and they were already going to judge this harshly based off the fact that Spoon didn't get XYZ time. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. But when you come in and so much has changed as far as we just don't look like a team that's well organized, even on the defensive end. But that really was sometimes where we really hung our hats on. I think also some of the ways that you're using Angel and Camilla, while at the beginning of the season wanting to use like Camilla as an offensive hub in a lot of ways, it's not there yet. And part of that is because Camilla's aggression level. Like, you have to be, if you are going to go from the inside out, you need not only your big to be a solid passer and a smart basketball player, which, again, Camilla has those skills, but you need that level of aggression because, again, facing bigs in the WNBA, it's not for the faint at heart. It's just not for the faint at heart. And so you're going to have to try to figure those things out as well as you go. And the Sky just have a lot of things right now. There's, three out of 5 starters are new to this team. A lot of the bench rotation is new to this team as well. And I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but when you have that many new pieces and a new head coach, it's just so many different moving things going on. And then we while Ariel Atkins can score, she's not like the scorer like a Kennedy. Like, Kennedy Carter was a scorer. Like, you just know that she was a bucket getter, right? That's her thing. That was one of her greatest skills, is just her bucket getting. Ariel Atkins is more of, she's not like the type of bucket getter that Kennedy is. She's more of a rhythm scorer. She's more of a system scorer as well. Now, you put the right system around her in the right role, she's going to be able to put up points. Hell, we saw it in the last game. But you're going to have to run a little bit of a different system. And so if you want to do from the inside out, you want to use Angel as more of a point forward, those things are all fine. Those things are all great. But how you structure around that, the makeup of the team around it, and how they play off ball, those type of things, the actions that you run, those all have to be integrated into that. And right now the Sky don't have that integration, but hopefully they use this time off to find that connectivity and to get on that same page. And if they can, great. If they can, great. That's gonna help us, because I tell you what, the Sky come right back from this long break off, and it's the Indiana Fever, it's the New York Liberty. Those are the first two. There was the first 2 games of the season. They're the first 2 games after this break. Then you face off against Atlanta, Connecticut, Washington. So you don't have an extremely long runway. And we talked about this before, because in the WNBA, you don't have the 82 games of the NBA, right? So even your segments, a slow start could completely throw off your team, completely throw off your season, I should say, especially through those first 10 to 15 games. The Sky are already 6 into that. And while it doesn't seem like a lot, like we're talking about, but after they get back, a week after that, you're basically a third way through the season almost, a fourth of the way through the season almost. So you have to be locked in, and you don't have a lot of time to course correct in this league. You just don't have a lot of time. The runway to do that is not very long. You're talking about from the beginning of the season, our first game was May 17th to the end of the season, September 11th. That's it. That's what you got. So that runway that you have here, it's not very long. So you got to find a way to correct that. And hopefully, if Tyler Marsh is going to be the coach that he was hyped up to be, that he has the potential of being, I still think he has the potential to do that. There's some things that you just only learn, no matter how much of a good assistant that you are on the back end of another coach's bench. Everything's on you as the head coach. Every single thing, you have to have every aspect of the game. Yeah, you have assistants that you can delegate things to, but you still have to have your finger on that pulse, because if you're not, it can get away from you. And that may be the thing that Tyler Marsh is learning here. And we'll see how it goes. I have great still hope for this team. I'm a forever optimist about my basketball teams, for my teams as a whole. And we'll see what the Chicago Sky do in this one, man. We'll see what they do in this one. It's been an interesting start to the league, to the season already. So we'll see how that goes. Now, to get off the basketball court news, Candace Parker will have her jersey retired by the Chicago Sky. This was announced a couple of days ago that they will retire Candace Parker's number 3 jersey. And when you look at the amount of time that she was here, it wasn't an extremely long time, but it was meaningful. It was very meaningful to what she did here for the Chicago Sky franchise, bringing a title here. Some of the best time. She's going to be the third. She was the third player in Sparks history to receive her jersey retired. She joins Lisa Leslie and Penny Tollier there. And, coming over here to the Chicago Sky, where she won, a title at before, she's now going to become that and get her jersey retired here as well. And she deserves it, man. She deserves every bit of it. I love that she's going to be able to do that with the Chicago Sky, because say what you will about her, she's an important member of this franchise's history, of the story of the Chicago Sky. She's a huge part of that. So, shout out to her there. It's good to see. And it's good that the Sky are acknowledging one of their legends, in my opinion, in retiring Candace Parker's jersey. So let me know what you guys think and feel on all of that. But also, the ceremony will be held during the game against the Las Vegas Aces on August 25th, which is the franchises that she did win titles with other than the Sparks. So that's going to be really good. And the impact that she had here has been amazing. So that's my time. Wanted to catch up. Sorry I didn't get the episode out right after the game yesterday. It was a lot going on. I apologize. We'll be more on a more normal schedule here going forward. But you guys can follow us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. And we'll see you guys the next time we go to Skytown. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.